here we are in Matera. It used to be called the Shame of Italy due to its extreme poverty, and a lot of these houses were uninhabitable. The Sassi di Matera, it's the stones of Matera that you see here. The old town was regenerated thanks to UNESCO funds and EU funds and even Hollywood. Matera is the only place in the world where people can boast to be still living in the same houses of their ancestors of 9,000 years ago. Throughout this ancient cave city, behind these house-like facades are simple caves, which have been inhabited since Paleolithic times. Here's an exaggerated example of the aforementioned cave-behind facade that makes up most of the Sassi di Matera. This is the main cathedral of Matera, Duomo di Matera. It was built 1230 to 1270, dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The bell tower is 52 meters high. Nice ceiling. So large. Bare-chested lady, and this is a hell scene. This is the chapel of Saint John of Matera. He was born in 1070 in Matera. Here's the patron saint of Matera, Madonna della Bruna. July 2nd was the big party here. She got paraded around. Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ was filmed here. That's why it looks familiar to you. There's something like 160 plus churches carved into the rock around Matera. And most of the 160 plus cave churches are very modest inside, just a few paintings. They were used as a place of worship for the farmers in the area. It's a cave for your car.
This is a rupestrian church, Santa Lucia alle Malve.
They don't let you take pictures or videos inside these rock churches. This one was carved out in the 800s. This wall is part of the medieval fortifications. And this stairway here is called the Gibson Stairs. He filmed the Passion of the Christ here, and this is where Jesus was dragging up his cross. One of my greatest childhood memories was my father coming back from getting the Sunday paper with a bag full of crumb buns. Spending one more day in Matera, now hunting for breakfast. Dali is in town, and everybody's excited about it. Purgatory Church. Matera bread balls with tomato sauce and basil. And this is
fava bean with chicken.
They're like meatballs, but vegetarian. The restaurant has a little cinema down in the basement. There's a popular pastry in Puglia from Altamura called nun's titties. Tette della monache. And here it is, Tette delle monache. Matera has a castle. I think we broke into the moat. Here's a 20th century building, Matera Courthouse. And here is City Hall. I think we've had enough of modern Matera. Here's a World War II monument. Did you know Matera was the first city in Italy to rise up against German occupation back in the old Nazi days? Another Dali. There's the Duomo across the Sassi. This is the Palombaro Lungo. It is the biggest cistern in Matera. It's a man-made excavation. It goes back to the 1500s, and it was later enlarged over the centuries. But it's not a natural cave. It's entirely man-made. It's actually a combination of a number of pre-existing caves. They used to be wine cellars, snow houses, tanneries. They were all merged together to create this giant public water cistern. Its capacity is 5 million liters of water. This is the Church of St. Francis of Assisi, built in the 1400s. Well, the facade was built in 1751. They are cutting off her breasts. Here's the old city hall from the 1500s. Now a music conservatory. The new James Bond, No Time to Die. That was filmed here in Matera. Another Dali. You can see how people used to live in these caves with their animals. And here's the exciting part. This is where their bathroom is. This Dali exhibit is in an old cave church, a rupestrian church, a rock church. The dance of time. So this is the Church of Madonna della Virtue from the 1100s. And like all of the rupestrian churches in the area, it's not a built church, it's completely carved out. They call that kind of architecture negative architecture. This is Dali's Last Supper. For the 700th birthday party of Dante, Dali illustrated Divine Comedy, commissioned by the town government. Dali illustrated the Bible with 105 graphics. This is one of them. Dali's St. George and the Dragon. Adam and Eve with a heart-shaped serpent. that monastery downstairs, Mel Gibson filmed the Last Supper scene and the washing of the feet scene. Now heading to St. Nicola the Greek, another church, rupestrian church from the 900s AD. Dali's The Surrealist Warrior. These are early medieval graves and Venus a la giraffe. I'll tell you one thing, I'm enjoying this exhibit a lot more than the one in Napoli. The one in Napoli was fantastic, but the setting here is unparalleled. Vision of the Angel. You can have this one for 16,100 euros. Or 19,000 euros for this one. Puglia consumes more raffo than all of the other regions in Italy. You have a plug? You have a plug?
Yeah, so area 8 is pretty cool.
Area
Nice
8.
music.
And this is a Materan classic, La Pignata. Oh, okay, and then you put it in.
Sì, la devo mettere.
You're looking at sheep with potato and mozzarella and other vegetables. And it's cooked in this earthenware pot in a wood-burning oven for a long time. And what are you eating?
Crappiata. It's like a bean soup stew.
A bean soup.
Slash stew.
Yeah, in Matera, traditionally an agricultural area, they don't eat meat very much. Back in the old days, when it was an extremely poor area, this would only be eaten when a sheep was lost to an accident or to a disease. It couldn't produce milk anymore. It couldn't bear children. That was the opportunity for La Pignata. Look how tender that is. Just fell off the bone. I can't say this isn't the best part, you know, eating your bread bowl with the sheep broth. Amaro Lucano, digestive, local digestive. The way to home, sweet home. Before leaving Matera, hunting for breakfast in the Sassi, we'll go to a museum where I read there were sculptures made of 9/11 scrap metal. Maybe stop at a platform, look down on the city once more, and then it's off to our beach vacation in Lecce. And now for some September 11th scrap metal sculptures. So this sculpture park is in an abandoned quarry, and the work is by Antonio Paradiso, who, out of 9,000 artists who applied to turn the 9/11 rubble into art, was the only one from Italy. Here's a final view of Matera before we leave. This is a view from a platform across the ravine. understand.